live from 10-Pin Alley in Wilmington, North Carolina. Tom Daugherty, 7-pin. This is actual bowling. Practice is over. Jeff Goodger with PBA Hall of Famer Randy Peterson and Randy, Tom Daugherty, and Tommy Jones in our opening match of this 4-player stepladder.
Tom Daugherty bowled a real big 250 the last game to get in and go around Andrew Anderson. So extended play for Tom Daugherty.
And winner of this match moves on to face A.J. Johnson, who bowled well all day today.
Earlier in the day, we saw Tommy Jones on this very lane stick and go down. I spoke with him prior to the start of the stepladder finals, asked him how he was feeling. He goes, I'm sore. I said, knee, hip, leg? He said, all of the above. Really struggled down the stretch with his ball reaction.
First shot of the match for Tommy Jones. And there's some of what you were talking about, Randy.
It happened on lane 20. And unfortunately for Tommy, he probably still remembers what happened as you see that ball in between second and third arrow. And that's how much the lanes have broken down just in practice. Most of the players using urethane pretty much the whole week to get to this point. Well, that was almost a full whiff. And watch this. You want to talk about a huge break. Tom Daugherty says that's not how I would have done it, but watch this. That's incredible.
Spares for each player to start. As we said, the winner of this gets A.J. Johnson, and then waiting in the title match, looking for his first career title, Cristian Azcona. Tom Daugherty in a very talkative mood, Randy, not necessarily unusual.
No, he likes to chat a bit. He's pretty comfortable in this environment.
Strike for Doherty in the second. Another look at this, Randy.
Much farther right than Tommy Jones, just inside first arrow. So a good 5 boards to the right in terms of location for Tom Daugherty. He liked that one as soon as it left his paw. As you can see, that little leg kick that Tom's famous for with his trail leg. Watch this. Right there, that move. When you see Tom Daugherty do that, he likes it.
And these two players got here kind of in reverse directions. Jones hung on to stay in, and Doherty plowed his way in the last couple games. Does any of that carry over into the stepladder?
Boy, I would have to think so. Tom has to feel like he's riding a high. Tommy Jones trying to get back some of the magic he had early. Yeah, Tommy's ball reaction is not good. And again, I asked him, what do you think the problem is? He says, well, I'm not sure. Maybe it's just that I'm not using my legs like I was because of the fall. And if you weren't watching or tuning in earlier, what happened was one of the spectators accidentally leaned against the thermostat as we watched Tommy shoot the 248-10. leaned against the thermostat, cut the air off. Tommy gets up to throw a shot. When that happens, the humidity in the building immediately changes. And on synthetic approaches, the approaches went from being fine to glue. Tommy's sticks goes down. Next thing you know, he's injured. And then did all he could do to hang on to make the Stepladder finals.
Now open frame in the third. Tommy Jones in the fourth, trying to keep up. And another look at Tommy Jones.
That's a lot of head belly with urethane. We didn't see the players do that a whole lot until later in the 8-game blocks when the lanes broke down enough. And a lot of times we saw players switching to reactive and playing that same angle.
Anybody who watched ESPN on Sunday Tom is blaming you, Randy.
Why wouldn't you? You know, this is why I filed a restraining order against Tom Daugherty. For those of you that watched the Elias Cup, he did this twice in like 2 games, both on the left lane in Portland, Maine. And I got to tell you that the solid 8 does not sit well with me, if you haven't noticed. And what an awful break for Tom, looking to take advantage of the opening given to him by Tommy Jones. He throws a perfect shot on a double, and it's 9 spare. Now you know why I hate the solid 8 pin.
Well, I already knew why. As apparently every fan in the building also knew, since every head turned this way.
I know, right? What a thing to be remembered for. Wow.
Still looking at us.
Still looking.
Tom Daugherty, 5th frame.
Oh, that's left. Yeah. He's trying to stay right and throw it really hard, and a lot of times when you do that, you have a tendency to pull it.
Another look at it.
And he knew it. Nice break, though, only leaving the 3-6. Tom, a very good spare shooter.
Now Tommy Jones. A couple spares in a row for Doherty. Jones with the open in the third. Still doesn't look all that comfortable out there, but he's off a strike here. What does Tommy Jones do here?
I don't know. You can see he's taking a little extra time, but the good news is that he can throw a strike in the 5th and 6th frame and take the lead by 1. Question is, can he hit the pocket on this lane? He went high and then light. Tommy Jones still searching on the right lane. Looks like he moved right.
Wow.
Yeah, he moved right and the ball never picked up. He has no idea what to do on the right lane. You know, and it might be a case where, all right, it's time to go grab some reactive and move in. At least you know that that ball's going to curve if you get it to the right. This is a horrible position for a player to be in. I wonder if he's going to move right even more and try to hook it. He did. See, and that kind of gives him an idea of what's out there.
Yeah.
So maybe a couple of boards left with his feet on that lane, and that same strike or that same target he used to shoot that spare might work for a strike ball.
Yeah, as you mentioned there, he was throwing a strike ball at that as a chance to find something. But isn't there also a risk there that you're going to miss the 1-2?
Right, there is. But in a one-game match, you're trailing. You got to find something. You got to find it now.
And
He's
there's
got
something.
Sorry, Jeff. He's got that lane, and he gets to finish the match on that lane, which is good news. So yeah, I totally agree with you. There was some risk involved, but again, the spare attempt will give him an idea of what to do the next shot on that right lane. If he leaves another solid 8 on this lane, I'm leaving.
I'll go with you.
Thank you, Tom. Here's a rack shredder for you. It's like somebody takes 10 pins and throws it in a wood chipper. Watch this. A lot of stuff moving when that ball hit the pins.
This is from the same man who left the 2-5-7-10 earlier and converted it.
Yeah.
Tom Daugherty.
Not even sure how that happened. Yeah, got a little fast, but that's the way he's trying to play him.
Just the 2-pin for the 2-time PBA Tour champion.
And again, this is a good thing for Tommy Jones as it gives him room to get back in it. Now look out now if Tommy Jones strikes on this ball. I think this is going to be the telling shot of the match, honestly. And even if it doesn't strike, if it hits the pocket and Doherty doesn't double up in the 8th and 9th, Tommy Jones can still win this.
Yeah, and as you noted, perfect on the left lane so far is Jones. Jones, who has always had that goal of 20 PBA Tour titles. He really wants to get there. He's at 18 right now.
So, that move surprised me. He actually moved farther left and then looked like he tried to hit it harder and go around it more. So if you're Tom Daugherty, you got to feel pretty good about your chances now, knowing that it's going to take a small miracle for Tommy to strike on the right lane. And max score now for Tommy Jones, 218. Tom Daugherty can still shoot 237. It's interesting, though, that Tommy's lost the right lane, Doherty's lost the left lane. If the players could just stay on one lane, we'd have a heck of a match. Still have a good match.
Jones, perfect on this lane.
And how about a swift kick to the groin?
Yeah, take a look at this.
And it's so funny that I made that comment and somebody in the stands goes, that hurt. It usually does when you get kicked there.
Another spare for Jones. So now 207, the max for Tommy Jones. Doherty up 8th frame off the spare.
This is where I look for Tom Daugherty to double up and just kind of shut this thing out. Never mind. Spare strike all the way off the sheet. Doherty shoots 206. And it's interesting how this pair broke down because the scores today were really good.
Yeah, all 9 games leading up to this. At least for the players who made it, obviously, but really good score, like 260s, 270s, 250s.
Cristian Azcona, 300.
Doherty's most recent title came in 2016, the Wolf Open in Allen Park. Now, what was that body language?
That was a body language that was requesting the ball to hook just a little bit more.
And he got it, so Doherty, 226 maximum.
Who can forget Tom Doherty's 100 game against Mika's 299 at the Tournament of Champions a few years back? Kind of put him on the map. He won a lot of fans over that day. And? All right. Now, what's interesting is that if he carried that solid 7 the frame before, we have a real interesting match. But if Tommy Jones strikes out in the 10th frame, he'll force Tom Daugherty to get the first hit. A double and 9 forces Doherty to strike first ball. And we do have the potential of a tie. Yeah, it looked like by that follow through he was trying to get it to go to the right. A little bit of a pull or a grab. Watch this follow through here. He's trying to get it to go that way, and it picks up too soon, goes through the nose, leaves the 310, and Tommy Jones is going to finish 4th.
It really was it was almost it was a 2-day tournament, but it was almost 2 tournaments for him.
It really was.
Pre-fall and post-fall.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, he was dominating. When I came in today, he was leading 5th by 200.
Yeah.
After 4 games, he found himself trying to just hold on for a spot in the stepladder. Stay on the lane.
185 for Tommy Jones. And Tom Daugherty with the formality here in the 10th frame. And there's the formality. Tom Daugherty advances. He will face A.J. Johnson in the semifinal match. Jeff Goodger and Randy Peterson coming up next from Wilmington.
Thanks.
Tom Daugherty defeats Tommy Jones in the opening match. Now, second seed A.J. Johnson, Doherty's teammate, Elias Cup championship teammate from the Silver Lake Atom Splitters. And now Johnson attempting to win his first career PBA Tour title. Jeff Goodger with Randy Peterson. And looks like Tom Daugherty be starting this match, Randy.
Making Tom finish on the right lane. So obviously A.J. Johnson has a better feel for the left lane.
You were watching Johnson in practice, though, and seemed to pick up on what his strategy might be in this match.
Well, we watched him earlier today. He was using 2 different urethane balls, one asymmetrical, one symmetrical, so a hot cell on one lane and pitch black on the other. And in practice, he was kind of going with both balls on both lanes. It's going to be interesting to see what he starts with.
Opening shot. And a good one for Tom Daugherty.
When it finishes in that spot, you're not going to leave a solid 8. Doherty's black hammer urethane goes through the pins nicely on that shot. All right, so it's pitch black on the right lane for A.J. Johnson. A great opening start for him. Now does he use the same ball on the left lane? Strong young man, played quarterback in high school, great athlete. And second place high finish for him. That wasn't too long ago, was it?
No, USBC Masters just before he, well, he's finished second twice. USBC Masters his first time before he was a professional, and then in Tamarack last year on the Xtra Frame Tour.
Right. Same ball on both lanes, guys. Yep. And the dreaded 3-6-9-10. I remember when this was a fairly easy spare to convert. Not anymore. The reason? The back pin, the 9-pin.
Probably will not be shooting this as Tommy Jones picked it up earlier. And there it is, the back pin, still standing.
And I really like the way he tried to shoot that. He only moved a little bit left off of his strike target and tried to play the outside part of the lane, but with that much speed and, again, urethane, there was not enough back end pop to get the 9 out. Rack shredder. Full rack attack on this shot here by Tom Daugherty. And this is how you take advantage. You know, now, I'm not saying that it's polite to take advantage of anyone, but in this sport, your opponent gives you an opening, you're doggone right you do.
Yeah. Why wouldn't you? What possible reason could there be to not take advantage?
Well, it doesn't always happen. I mean, the intent is
the
there.
Intent, yes. Two pin.
Yep. He's got to throw it really hard to play that zone, and he gets a little too firm, and it doesn't pick up. Or if he misses just a shade inside, it's going to do that.
Spare for Doherty. A.J. Johnson now off the open. Randy, we talked about Johnson's 2 second-place finishes. He's been lurking inside step ladders into shows. He made one of the shows of the World Series a couple years ago, and finished 4th last year in Lubbock in the Xtra Frame event. Lost to his good friend Marshall Kent. He's been there. He just hasn't hoisted the trophy yet.
You give yourself enough opportunities, and eventually you're going to come away with victory. But it hasn't happened yet for this young man, and I know that eventually it starts to eat at you a bit as well. Only 25 years of age, and like you said, he's given himself a few chances. But again, it's a process. For some, it happens much quicker. We spoke about some of the younger players that have already won a ton. Like, I think the one player there's two players that really stand out to me. One is E.J. Tackett at age 25. He's already Hall of Fame eligible. And the other is Jesper Svensson at 22 or 23. He's won 7 times in a major.
Yeah, Tackett's the youngest to win 8, and Svensson is the youngest to win 7.
Well, looked like he moved in a little bit with that same ball in the left lane, and this time it comes up light. So that tells me this isn't going to work.
So 4 frames in, you realize that. What do you do now?
So, the option is for him to move right off of that shot and throw it harder or change balls. I think that's the 2 moves. He might go to the hot cell on that lane.
And Doherty right back into it. 3 out of the first 4 strikes.
There's another sign that's telling me that it's kind of tough to get to the pocket. We're not seeing a lot of shots go flush. The majority of Tom's strikes over the last game and a half have actually been kind of half pocket. That was flush. Say goodbye to my little friend. That's the 10-pin. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Little Scarface reference. I just thought I'd throw it at you.
Best part was Marshall Kent's face.
Marshall Kent turns around and goes, "What?" For those Scarface fans out there. All right, AJ. He's got to get to work. It's a great shot here. What's going to happen on the left lane? Remember, on the left lane, high, then light. And so is it going to be a ball change or a feet and target adjustment? Can't tell. His body's in the way. It is a ball change.
And a successful one on that shot.
Something told him in practice that wasn't the right move, and so he didn't start that way. He may end up regretting it.
Does he like that one? Or does he think he's close now? Or?
Yeah, he likes that. Yeah, it's a good sign.
The bad sign for Johnson is Doherty has 4 strikes in 5 frames. Now 4 and 6 frames.
Well, that's a good sign if you're part of the A.J. Johnson camp. This looked a little funny out of Tom's hand as he leaves the 2-4-5 only. No 8-pin with it. And again, Doherty, an excellent spare shooter. That's the slow down a bit signal he just gave us.
He's not been quite as chatty this game as he was in the first part of the opening game.
It's getting a little closer to the nitty-gritty. The hardware game is half a game away. You see how hard he's trying to throw it? I mean, he usually has great balance, and on this shot here, it was anything but, because he's really firing it down the lane. You could see him just come up and out of that shot, but it ended up in a perfect spot. Now A.J. Johnson, with 2 more strikes, can take the lead by 1. I just got deja vu again. Didn't that just happen in the last match?
Yes. A deja vu again is kind of redundant, but that strike for A.J. Johnson is...
At least somebody got the deja vu again reference.
Of course.
Nice break here by A.J. Johnson. Little rack swisher as Marshall walks by and gives me the #1 sign. Apparently he loves listening to us on Xtra Frame.
Now Johnson looking for 4 in a row.
This one to take the lead.
Oh, did he like that one, Randy?
Does a fat kid like cotton candy?
I hope so.
This is beautiful here. Hope I don't get fired for that last comment.
I just appreciate the opportunity to answer your rhetorical questions. Tom Daugherty needing to answer A.J. Johnson.
It's a better shot, too.
Take another look.
Got a little bit softer with this, but this was a much better shot. You can see how much better his balance was. Only to leave a flat 10.
.236 max for Tom Daugherty.
Hello. That looked like it was a little inside of target, and it goes right through the face, and Doherty pays for it. It couldn't have happened at a worse time. I was going to try to convert the 4, 6, 9, 10. What a turn of events. Max score now for Doherty, 211. A.J. Johnson right now is at 217. Strike here, he goes into the 220s. Oh. Full rack attack by A.J. Johnson. And this is how you take advantage of an opportunity. And look at that. Messenger comes across, but no one was left standing. All right, good count here. And A.J.'s off once again to bowl for the title. It's a good ball change he made on this lane back in the 6th frame. Double dribble. See, that ball was inside of target, and he double dribbled it, but it only goes high enough to leave a 4-pin, not a Greek church. So spare here, and then I look for AJ to kind of test the waters a little bit right of target to see if that ball will pick up and get there.
Doherty has already pretty much conceded it as he's up ready to bowl, and all that's left is to make it official, and that has been done.
I'm going to watch AJ's last shot on this field, though, see where the location is and what the ball actually does. And we're going to have a first coming up as Cristian Azcona is going to bowl for the title for the very first time and try to win for his country, become the first PBA player ever to do that. Win one for Puerto Rico. All right.
And regardless, we will have a brand new PBA Tour champion coming up next. A.J. Johnson, Cristian Azcona, live from Wilmington.
Fans from San Juan, Puerto Rico, Mr. Cristian Azcona. He's got 3 regional titles. They all came last year. He was a hot player in the Southern region, winning 3 events. Our 2017 Southern Region Player of the Year. Give it up for these guys for our final event.
Well, if you couldn't hear Sam Zurich, tournament director, Cristian Azcona, the reigning South Region Player of the Year. 3 regional titles last year, and now looking for his first national title, as is his opponent, A.J. Johnson. And it looks like A.J. will start on the left lane, finish on the right, Randy.
I think this is an advantage for A.J. Last couple of shots on that lane in his last match looked a little iffy. He's moved in. He's moved in, and now he's having trouble getting it back, at least on that shot. 2-4-5 to start. I watched Cristian Azcona in warm-ups, Jeff, and he looked so solid.
Well, he's looked solid all day.
That's got a hook. Yep. Saw it.
Let's look at Johnson wrapping, taking the double wood off the mess. Now, Azcona, first shot. And the 6'10" for Azcona.
He's got to
Haven't
be
seen any shots like that out of him today.
He's got to be nervous. I mean, he knows what's at stake, and anytime you're bowling for your first title, there's going to be nerves involved, and he's got to find a way to corral that.
Azcona's done a lot of winning around the world at all ages, a lot of youth PABCON titles. Won youth all events gold at PABCON one year.
I just like the fact that his favorite music group is Bon Jovi. I think that's pretty cool. Nice kid, though. I've had the pleasure of speaking with him a couple of times, and just a very pleasant young man. Just 24 years of age. We're at, does it show his city in Puerto Rico? I wonder if he's from San Juan or...
Currently lives in Lake Wales, Florida.
So he's close to the Kegel Training Center.
Yeah, it's his home center. Where
he used to be a batch tester, from what I'm being told. But he is from San Juan, Puerto Rico. Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, the 10-pin gets taken out.
There's a filthy little messenger here. Watch this. Body gets that big body open to project the ball to the right, keep that hand to the inside of the ball, and then look at the head pin come slinging across to take the 10 out. Good stuff. Now A.J. Johnson after an open. And again, we talked about it. He gets the finish on this lane. First shot on the left lane is an open frame. He's comfortable on that lane.
What do you see him doing here on the left lane as we take another look here?
Well, I'll tell you what I think he should do. And then as a player, you've got to be able to decide whether or not that's something that you can do and repeat shots. He needs to stay in the same exact spot he was in the last shot and just get a little softer. That's the one thing about Cristian, is his speed's softer, and so his ball reads it reads this oil pattern a little bit better. He moved right. He moved right and piped it. That's okay too, as long as it works. I mean, if I told you to throw a shot wearing a hat with a propeller on top of it and you struck, who would care? So that's the two moves. I mean, right and firm and straighter, or where he was, where he went light and a little bit softer. Sorry if you have a hat like that.
You know I have a full collection.
All right. Last time up on this lane, Cristian went high. And there it is. So as soon as it left his hand, he liked it, and then the two hands go up like, what's going on? Watch this reaction. Location and everything's great. He liked it, and then all of a sudden it was like, hey, wait a minute.
So what is going on? He had practice. He had one previous frame on this lane. What's happening that's so shocking?
Both shots have gone high, and that last shot was totally unexpected in terms of what he was expecting.
Baby split.
We're seeing that more and more today. The players are starting to throw backup balls at the 3-6-10 combination, and that's what he did, and the ball actually curved away from the 3-pin.
Yes.
We see E.J. Tackett do that all the time, and that time Cristian Azcona did the same thing, and his ball hooked by the 3. So both players with an open frame through 3 frames, but A.J. Johnson has a double. Swishes the rack on this one here. It's a nice comeback after the open. And so again, it becomes one of those, what does he do on the right lane? To me, this is A.J. Johnson's favorite lane.
Struck here in the second. If he can do it again here in the fourth. Put together what those in the 20th century referred to as a turkey. And the 2-pin. Take another look at this one.
And just when I said that that was his favorite lane.
No issues on the spare. Nor should there be on a 2-pin.
Look out.
Nobody in this building expected that 7-pin to survive this.
Except me. I was the one that said, look out.
You did.
Now, I said that because I thought he was going through the nose, and that ball just froze there. An unfortunate break for A.J. Johnson, and now Cristian Azcona steps up, working on a strike. He can take the lead. I had a feeling. Through the nose, through the nose. Let's keep moving. Increase angle, and it's light coming in to the pocket, leaving just the 2-pin. And fortunate the 8 and the 10 are not there.
A lot of 2-pins left by everybody on this stepladder final tonight. And you mentioned earlier that it doesn't seem to be that easy to get to the pocket.
Oh, it's not. Lanes broke down horribly. This man here averaged 260 for the last 2 games to take the #1 spot. You don't do that when you have this kind of ball reaction. You know, you have to have a little wiggle room, and that doesn't seem to be the case for either player right now. I'll tell you who's breathing a sigh of relief, though, is A.J. Johnson, and that Cristian didn't strike on that ball. Beauty. Really good there.
What's going to be the difference in this match, Randy? Both guys, well, you see what they're doing. What's gonna decide this?
I mean, I just don't have a feel for it one way or the other. I don't know.
And Johnson back to striking, and make sure that they all went down.
I mean, that could have easily been a double, if not for the solid 7. A.J. Johnson, to me, looks like he could have an action figure made out of him. Like, if you're going to make a bowling action figure, it would be A.J. Johnson or a likeness of him.
I can support that. Yeah, there's your double.
All right, so I'll be able to answer your first question after these next 2 shots thrown by Cristian Azcona.
Azcona perfect on this lane. Sorry, perfect on the other lane. And perfect on that shot. Now going to his perfect lane as we look at this one again.
Well, he's moved in even farther, got a little bit straighter through the front part of the lane, and a beautiful shot there by Cristian. Trails by 9 and take the lead. Wow. This was inside just a little bit. It looks like he's changed angles just a hair, and he put a great touch on this shot. And just a reminder, folks, one of these 2 players is going to win for the very first time on the PBA Tour. Title number 1 up for grabs. A.J. Johnson, Cristian Azcona. That was close. That was close. It may have been a little firm. Location was good. Just a little soft down lane.
Now 226, the maximum for A.J. Johnson. No matter what Johnson does here, Azcona will have a chance to get up and win before Johnson gets to bowl again.
It's a big shot here. I think that AJ has to strike on this shot to have any chance.
Double wood.
He's in trouble. This title is Cristian Azcona's to win, as A.J. Johnson leads the 2-8. But this is the time where you step up as a professional and you get the job done. You make the shot necessary. You have the opportunity now to seize the moment. You step up and you make the shot. And shots like this for Cristian are career defining.
214 is Johnson's max. not get the 7 to go.
Interesting. Wasn't that bad. Yeah, that could have struck. It's not over. Spare here. Double and 8. And Cristian Azcona wins his first title. Anything else, A.J. Johnson can still win.
Made a few people in the crowd nervous on that one, but he knew it all the way.
Including me.
You wouldn't have done that.
So we have a 3-pin match heading into the 10th frame, folks. Double 8, Cristian wins. Double 7, we have a possibility of a tie. If he doesn't double, AJ can get up and double and win. And if you love the sport of bowling and you love watching bowling, whether it's on television or on Xtra Frame, you ought to love this, a title match coming down to the 10th. I'll tell you what, it's a gutsy move that he made on that lane, getting away from the outside part of lane 19, and then just perfect execution. Can you repeat? The difference between rising to the occasion and shying away from it right here. How about that pin carry? It was unusual, but I'll tell you what, this is another great pitch. Now let's watch the pin carry here on this shot. It's a little bit farther right, but that's okay. He got all of this one. And look at that. Just like he left that shaker 7 in the 9th, not that time. Biggest double of his young career. He needs 8 or more for title number 1.
Still not an easy shot, Randy. Can't be, right? First title, he needs 8. Or does he just feed off those 2 shots he just threw and do it again?
Just repeat what you just did. The last 2 shots were pure. Same thing. Look out. Look out. Oh, he's got some room on that lane. He pured it again. Cristian Azcona wins for the very first time on the PBA Tour.
Incredible performance all day by Azcona. Chasing down, catching, passing Tommy Jones for the top seed. And now defeating A.J. Johnson in the title match. And Johnson will finish his 10th frame, and Randy Peterson will go down laneside and talk to our newest PBA Tour champion.
Congratulations, man. As soon as he's done with
Another good performance for A.J. Johnson.
All right. How about a
Go
nice
down
round
laneside.
of
Here's
applause
Randy.
for all of our finalists and our runner-up, A.J. Johnson. Do I need to be over here or right here? Where do you want me? Right here? Cristian, come on over here, buddy. Muy bueno, señor. Congratulations. Way to go, man. First time ever winning for Puerto Rico. How does it feel?
Feels amazing. I mean, I've always thought about this and you know, pictured it in my head, but to see it happen, it's amazing.
How were you able to manage this pair? It looked awful tricky for some of the greatest players in the world, but you looked like you made some pretty big adjustments halfway through that title match. What happened?
Basically what happened was our rep told me that the right lane was a little tighter. It wasn't hooking as much, so we started with a plan to attack that, but as we bowled, we saw that lane was starting to hook a little more. So I made a ball change, moved in a little, and try to hook it more.
And when you got up in the 10th frame, knowing that you needed a double and at least 8, what went through your mind?
Honestly, I was just thinking that thank God I'm finishing on my good lane. Thank God I get to do it on the lane that I like the most. And, you know, I'm just thinking about throwing a good shot.